Hit your ball, easy.
All righty. Thank you. Good morning. Good to see everybody. I was designated to the dining room, so I had to move some furniture so I could set myself up here. Hope you can get a full view. Okay, so let's start with our legs crossed. Okay, let's get those sits bones down, just trying to ground ourselves. Ground, no pun intended, getting our butts nice and tight to the floor. So while we're here, we're going to do a stretch, and I'm going to just turn this way so you can see something. So when we're nice and tall like this with a straight back, our lower lumbar pulls forward and our pubic bone and our sits bones come forward and root onto our mat. So what we're going to try to do here is let's work the area from about here to the tailbone. We'll warm it up a little. So from this area only, you're going to push your abdominals, your lower rectus abdominis, push it in to press your lower back and then pull up. So you're just going to stretch and pull in. Now, you want to make sure your abdominals are very tight because you're creating length. Two more. And last one. So it's not an exaggerated movement. It's just trying to concentrate on the lumbar area. So now let's we're going to connect these two, but we're going to focus on more of the middle back. So the middle back line, the traps, where the traps, the lower lats are, same thing. When you create a flexion, you want to pull the rib cage in. It's like you're taking your fist and pushing it in and opening the middle back. I know I keep moving, but I want you to see. So you're opening the middle back and then coming straight up. While you're doing this, make sure that you keep your shoulders down. You don't want to roll them forward. Keep going. It's nice to disconnect and think of each part of your vertebra. Okay, so you're nice and high. You feel those sits bones. So the next thing we're going to do is let's connect the middle back to the lower back. So as we put them together, we're going to go here, but we're not lifting the shoulders, and we're going to go here. So for some of us, if we move our arms forward like we're hugging our imaginary friend, sometimes that can help. And as your arms come forward, you can feel the scapula slide, the traps in the lats open. Let's do one more. Okay, release it. Good. Okay, feet together. So you want your feet either to be close or farther away. You find that happy place for you. I'm going to bring mine in a little bit deeper because I'm going to concentrate more on my inner thighs, my adductors. So I'm going to lift my spine. And as I hinge forward, my back is virtually straight. I'm not creating that flexion. I'm keeping my spine long. And I'm going to lean into this. And as I do, if you find that your knees start coming up towards you, don't worry about that. It's just range of motion, okay? Just gently sit and let this stretch work for you. And come out of it. And let's try that again. Coming forward. And come out of it. Okay. So slide your legs down a little bit. We're going to do this because it's just such a cold night last night. We really want to warm our body up before we start moving into our Pilates movements. Okay, so move your feet a little bit farther away. Same thing, you're nice and tall. You're going to keep a flat back and you're going to come forward. Release it. And again, this for me starts to open up more of the IT band that inserts into the upper part of the leg or the upper part of the hip. One more. And release it. Good. Alrighty, so let's lie flat. Okay. I'm going this direction so you can see my legs. Okay. So I'm using that ball to support my head weight. Remember that as the barometric pressure begins to change, sometimes we feel it in our sinuses, we feel it in our ears. Don't hesitate to keep your head lifted if you find you're going into that place of congestion and maybe even some dizziness, okay? So let's roll the back, feel the lower back press down, then feel the tailbone press down and create that concave to the lower back. So we're anterior and posterior pelvic tilts. Two more. And last one. Okay, so have your back neutral. Okay, so you're not completely extended and whole spine flat, and you're not in a hyperextension. So go to a neutral spine. Okay. So when you're there now, I want you to pull your feet in as tight as you can get them towards your tushy area. Okay. And you're going to let your knees drop. Oops. About that. You're going to let your knees drop to one side, over towards the right. Inhale. And then over towards the left. So the reason I want to do this, not necessarily quickly, but you're not holding your knees down, is because you're just starting stretching and the movement. You want to be careful. You don't ever want to hold a stretch too long. You're not warmed up enough yet. Unless, of course, you took a walk this morning and you're nice and warmed up. Okay, coming center, feel your back nice and flat. So let's think about the body. So you have the pubic bone and the belly button. So anywhere in between there, from an anatomy perspective, you have very dense muscles. Okay, that's why we have that very svelte belly, right? You're going to think about those deeper muscles, the transverse abdominals, and you're going to pull them in tight. So it's easier when you're lying flat because things are flattening. You're pulling it in. So think about zipping up those zippers on your jeans and feel that belly get real tight. It's nice too because the connection of the psoas into the hips, it can really help. Okay, so belly is nice and tight, arms are long. You're going to think about your right leg up. Let's point and flex the foot. Now, as we bring our leg all the way up to the ceiling, your goal is to get out of this crooked knee. You want a straight knee, okay? With that left leg bent, it's easier to do that, of course. Now, if you can put your hands behind your knee, or you're onto your hamstring, and lift your head weight, feel that stretch that's going on in the hams as well as the back. Lifting it up, bringing it forward. Inhale. And as you exhale, let your head weight go back to the ball. So feel that deeper stretch through the hamstrings and your back. Okay, release that. Now let's slide that left leg long. As the right leg comes down, keep the knee very straight. So begin with a pointed toe down towards the floor, flex the foot and lift. Toe down, flex and lift. So you're keeping a straight line here. Remember that belly is very tight. Inhale, exhale. One more. So we're going to leave the leg up here and we're going to point the toe. We're going to make sure the knee is straight and you're going to feel that range of motion with this leg, bringing it up. Quads are tight, but abdominals are tighter. You're going to bring the leg across the body to the outside and lift. Inhale and exhale. So I'm feeling like I'm rotating the top part of my femur and my hip. Good thing, because all that connective tissue warms up. All that synovial fluid starts to help the movement. It's like the oil can. It gives you that extra. Hold that foot up, flex the foot, and reverse it. It gives you that extra lubrication that your body needs. Keep going. Quads are starting to feel heavy. Try to go through the movement. Use your breath. Now, draw your knee in, hands behind the knee. If you want to put them down here in the lower leg, go for it. So you're here, and with that leg in, let's take advantage of stretching out the piriformis. So left hand is going to stay in the front of the tibia and the fibula. The right arm's going down. So that right shoulder has to be strong to the floor. Draw that right leg across. And as you keep this knee in towards you, it really helps to open up. Body's getting warmer. Inhale, exhale. And release back. Okay, both knees are bent. So let's go over everything fundamentally, keeping your back neutral. Take that left foot up to the ceiling. Body is pulled down and in. You're keeping these abdominals as tight as can be. I can never say it enough. I know you probably want to slap me, but we need to constantly be reminded of those fundamentals. That's what's going to help us to get a better, to do our movement more proficiently. So with the belly nice and tight and flat, take that left leg up, okay? Hand goes behind the hamstring. You're pulling it up and in, and we're going to raise the head, neck, and shoulder. Keep your shoulders down, keep the hands straight. And you can get another stretch more. If you get stretched in, stretch it in, stretch it in. Head weight down. And release, palms are down. So let's stay with a flexed foot this time and point up. So long leg and down. Long leg and down. Point and flex as you move that leg through the air. Okay, keep that leg up. We're going to keep the point to the toe, release the right leg long. So a lot's going to change on the left side. You're not going to be here. You're going to need to move the leg down a little bit, but keep it inserted into that upper part of your hip. So circles across the body. Inhale, exhale. Slow and controlled. Inhale, exhale. One more in this direction. Bring the leg all the way up, and then let's flex the foot and reverse the direction. fluid movement. Keep your hips quiet. Moving from the belly and the obliques. Back is kicking in, it has to in order to move the leg. One more. All right, bring that knee in. I'm going to place my hands on the lower part of my leg, the front of my leg. Shoulders are down. Right hand is holding on to that bony tissue. Left hand down. Bring this left leg across. Keep your left shoulder down. And feel a deep stretch. Inhale, exhale. And reverse it and bring it back. Okay, both feet are flat. So we're going to try some bridge work while we're here. If your feet are flat, you're as wide as the mat, okay? You want your feet to be as wide as the mat. You want to pull the tailbone down. So you're pulling that tailbone down flat, okay? So it's nice and flat there. Palms are down. Fingers are open wide, okay? There's nothing underneath your head space because as you bridge, you're moving your weight to the base of your shoulder girdle. So right where your lats are. Now inhale, roll it up. You can feel the base of the scapula. You're here. So when you're here, you're going to be, you're actually going to be able to lift your head, move it around because there's no pressure up in the neck space. Inhale and slowly, each vertebra, bring it down, waistline, tailbone, and you're good to go. Let's go right back up. Hams should be working nice and hard to keep you lifted. Take it up. Try one more. Okay, so we're up here and we're going to walk our feet together. Okay, we're still up in a bridge and we're going to lift the right leg and cross it over the left knee. Your goal is to keep this right leg, this right knee outside, not pulling it up and in. Okay, and it's the ankle that's on the top part of the quad. So right here, stay here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do a simple movement of dropping the back, lifting the back, dropping the back, lifting the back. We're not doing our fluid one vertebra at a time. We're just lifting and lowering. One more. Okay, bring it up, hold it. Take that right foot, side that left. You're still lifted. Take the left ankle onto the right quadricep. Left knee is outside. Same thing. Inhale and exhale. Try one more. Left foot is beside the right. You're up in that bridge space. Now, arms up to the ceiling and wrap them around you. So now you've exposed the paraspinal muscles and you're going to slowly, each vertebra at a time, drop it down. Waistline, lower lumbar, tailbone. Ooh, feels good. Okay. So we're going to do a roll-up today. If you have osteoporosis, roll-ups are out of your repertoire, but you can do some piriformis stretches. I recommend doing some inner thigh stretches. I also recommend doing some shoulder and back stretches, okay, if you can't do this. So what I'm going to recommend is we're going to take our hands up to the ceiling, okay? We're plugging our shoulder into our shoulder girdle. Real important is you feel that scapula down, okay? And you're not rolled forward. Now, another thing I want you to think about is we're imprinting our back. So each part of the spine is nice and long on the back or on the floor, which is real important. That's a big component of imprinting. Pull your belly button in, from the belly button to the pubic bone. All those dense muscles, they're tight, okay? Inhale, nod and bow. Raise yourself up. Bring yourself long. Spine stretch. Come out of it. Roll back. And again, inhale. As you notice, I'm trying to keep my shoulders down. As I lift, I feel length here and length here. As I reach forward, I don't collapse. And if I could see you, I would tell you, neither would you. Keep going. Take it down. And last one. Keep your shoulders down. Roll it up. Long. Reach. Okay. Shake it out, shake it out. Great. Don't mind me, I keep adjusting this. Okay. So now we're going to do a saw. So got to pull your pants up, right? The fun things of Pilates. That's what we got to make. We got to laugh, right? Got to laugh sometimes. Okay. So your legs are wide. You're going to roll your shoulders back and down. Now, if you notice, my toes are facing up towards the ceiling. Hamstrings are very long. My arms go to the outside. I want to roll my shoulders all the way back. Okay. You're going to inhale and you're going to twist the right arm towards the left leg. The left arm is behind you, but it's not high because you're not going into your shoulder girdle at all. Your spine is long. My right hand is going to be palm outside, and I'm going to reach my hand towards that left outside baby toe. So I'm reaching it, okay? I'm not down here in a flexion. I'm reaching it, okay? It's like oppositional pull. Right arm's going, left arm's long behind you. So in this position, my hand comes down to the outside, and I'm going to pulse 2, 3. And as I lift, I'm going to turn, go right to the left side. How do you like that? Go right to the left side? That's not really good. Right arm back, left arm forward, oppositional pull. Reach, reach, your chest is lifted. Now the hand comes down and saw 2, 3, lift it up and to the other side. So keep doing that. Saw, come up, saw. So you're not getting what we would say in yoga, a long range of motion. What you're feeling are a lot of different movements here, your connections, and release, shake it out. You're feeling the back of the quads, okay? Back of the knees, a lot in the lower leg. You're also going to feel it in the shoulder, neck, and back. Sometimes people start to feel it in their abdominals. You're never crushing them. You're keeping that length here. So we have a nice concave going on, okay? So speaking of that, we're going to go into our ball. So my ball needs air, bad. We're going to sit up real tall. Shoulders are back and down. My spine is nice and long, pulling this into my belly space. So if I was there with you right now, my hands would be on that ball and I would be pushing it against your tummy, which you technically would be lifting your spine longer, right? Because you would almost feel like I'm trying to get it inside those ribs. And that's how you would start your movement. We're going to nod and bow and come out of it. And again, nod and bow. Nod and bow. So don't think that you have to try to move your head so far forward that you create almost a strain in the upper shoulders and neck. That's not the movement here. The movement is the resistance of the ball and the length of the middle back. Almost behind your shoulders down to below your scapula, like the lats and the traps, that space, the upper traps. And release it, shake it out, shake it out. So let's pull our feet together. We're going to do the same thing here with our legs tight together. And when you bring your legs tight together, rotate these legs in their hips. Rotate them in, feeling that length and feeling that your legs get real long and your toes pointed. It's all about our feet too. Remember, our feet are our best friend. Balls in, length here, spine stretch. So what if you find that you can't keep your legs straight? Is it okay to do this with a bent knee? Yes, it is. If you're here, it's okay. Trying to get that back basically released. Two more. And last one. Good. Okay. So I'm rocking side to side here. Feel my tushy, moving. Okay. Ball. Let's take it to our back. So we're going to space it, put it in that lower back. Looking good. Okay. So it's tight to your back. You're going to lift your body up long. So feel the length again. So shoulders in. Now, in this position, we're going to open our arms wide. So you feel like your chest is expanding. Open wide and pull it in. But don't change your spine. So when your hands come together, don't collapse. Okay? Open wide, keep your spine long. Open wide, keep your spine long. This is resistance on its own. Okay, hands down. Now, with the ball here, we're going to take an inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to take our lower back onto it. Take our back as deep as we can. But look at my head and neck. My chin is in. I'm not letting my head fly back. Not a good thing to the neck. Inhale. Lift up. Go right into your spine stretch. Remember, your hands stay up. They don't go to the floor. Inhale. And up you go. You're really giving your body the opportunity to open up here, where unfortunately we have a tendency to collapse too much in that area. Unfortunately, it's because we're sitting too much. Plus, I think there's a lot of fear there. And it's natural. I mean, why wouldn't there be? After going through the year 2020, we're all going to see light at the end of the tunnel in 2021. Come up. And one more. Take it back, take it back, take it back. Now, stay here a minute. So my chin is in. I'm not letting my head hang out. I'm going to open elbow. Here I am. Arms up. Take it up, 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 and reach in your spine stretch. Ah, great. Shake it out. Okay. So the next thing we're going to try is, let's go into our tummy. So I'm going to take the ball to my belly space. So it's not on my pubic bone, and neither is it on my belly button. So it's somewhere in between. And I told you before, if you don't have a ball, you can always use a pillow or rags, towels from the kitchen. A block is okay if you don't think it's going to hurt your hips, but for some it might be a little too hard. So my elbows, as you see, are right underneath my shoulder girdle. My palms are down and my hands are wide open, okay? The entry point for good energy, it comes through the fingers and the toes. Okay, now extend your legs long. So my knees are lifted, you cannot see, but my knees are lifted off of the mat. And my toes are tucked under. Now I feel the weight of my body on this ball, okay? So already you're planking, which is kind of cool, huh? You're gonna lift off and bring it down. Off. Keep going. Stay with that. Don't stop. Okay. 2 more. And last one. Take it down. Okay. Knees come down. Keep the elbows still tucked there. Because we collapse so much into our rib space, we're going to work some of that area right now. Okay. So the first thing I want you to do is open your legs about a little less than hip width. Okay. Now take your hands down. So my palms are coming down to the floor. Okay. Now I'm still on that ball. And for some of you, this may be uncomfortable. If you want to take the ball out, go for it. I'm just going to try something different, give you a little variety here. Pull your shoulder girdle down, press up, and then down. So you have quite an extension going on here. So people say to me sometimes, well, what about my lower back? Am I compressing the lower back? Am I creating more of a problem? Say if I have an injury in my lower lumbar. And truly, if you're pulling your tummy in as tight as could be on that ball, you should not have a problem. And of course, if you do, everybody's different. You want to get off the ball. One more. Take it down and roll that ball out. Okay. So your ball is going to still be your BFF. Hold on to it. We're going to use it for some arm work here. So you're on your stomach. Legs are going to be as wide as the mat. Be real careful when your legs are wider. Your pubic bone is pressed closer to the mat. Okay, you just want to be careful about that. So the ball, I'm going to keep the ball in my hands. And if that happens for me, my arms are long, right? So my arms are closer to my ears, which means for some of us, this is very uncomfortable. So you're going to then not hold the ball, and you're going to open your arms wider to the corners. Look at the corners of your mat. Use that as a guide, okay? But for me, I'm going to hold it on, if you want to, holding on to this ball. Right away, I'm already feeling my serratus anterior really opening up, which is the back of my arm and shoulder. Great place to get some opening. So my lower body wants to be strong, pulling my heels together, zipping up and gluing the inner thighs tight together. Now, I'm going to pull my tummy in tight, because if I don't, when I lift my upper body, what's going to happen is I'm going to feel pressure in my lower back. And you never, ever want to feel that. You can always modify. There's always another way to get there. So I'm holding on to my ball and I'm going to inhale. As I exhale, I'm going to lift my arms, my chest, and release. And again. So please don't be intimidated because you may not be lifting very high. You're thinking, oh my gosh, I can't even get my arms off the floor. That's okay. You're contracting, right? You're initiating the movement because you're contracting those muscles to just try to get to that position. Don't beat yourself up. Okay, ball's going bye-bye. My arms are now going to the corners of my mat, okay? So I'm at the corners of my mat. I'm going to do the exact same movement, keeping my lower body strong to the floor. Lift and release. So as I lift here, I want to feel arms are reaching and releasing. Inhale and exhale. So for most of us, we're going to feel this in the middle back. And when I say the middle back, I'm not talking about the lower part of your traps. I'm talking more to where the bra strap sits and above it. And I know the others don't have bras on, but still, we kind of know where it goes. One more. And release it. Okay, slide those arms long beside you now and bring your hands onto your lower back. So here's where you are. Okay, shoulders are plugged, heels are together. Let's try that same movement. Inhale and lift. So you feel your arms sliding down behind you and slide it. And release. One more. Good.
You're at 11,
okay.
10.
Thank you. So we're going to take our hands to the mat. We're going to bring ourselves up into an extension. But you know what? Before we do that, move your hands farther forward. So it's right outside your shoulders. Press up here. Feel that length. And then take it down. So you don't have the ball here. And it's a different movement. Oh, we really don't see the light of day in that stomach area. We should really give our bellies, remember, they're saying, whoever they are, well, they're the smart people out there, I always say. They're telling us that our brain or our belly is our second brain. So let's give our second brain some option to see the light. So open up and release. Two more. And last one. All right, so I'm up here. I'm going to bring myself onto all fours. Good. So from all fours, we're going to lift the back. We're going to flatten and then drop the hip. So cat and cow. Remember, when you do your cat and cow, you never want to roll your shoulders up towards your ears. You still want to keep space from the shoulder and the ear. Keep going. Okay. So let's sit sideways on our mat. Okay. So when we sit sideways on our mat, we're going to make sure that we're sitting on that right sits bone. You're going to almost feel, if you bend this knee in, that you're not going to have that right sits bone down. No worries. It's part of our anatomy. A lot of time that's an area in our body, unfortunately, that shortens quickly. What a drag. So I'm bringing my left foot in towards the inside of my right leg. This is uncomfortable for the knees. You can always open your legs out. You can also open this leg out. You don't have to be in this position, okay? So we're going to be here, but I want you to pull up, okay, and feel your weight on the back of that left side sits bones, real close to that piriformis, okay? Your arms are out. You're going to raise this right arm up. This left hand's going to come to the floor, and you're going to let it slide with a straight elbow. And then bring it up. And again, let it slide. And up. Let it slide. And up. One more. You can feel how it grabs on that right oblique. And up. Okay, let's take these legs out. Point and flex. Flex. Okay, other side. So we're in here, left leg back. Okay, shoulders are back and down. You're gonna take that right arm out. This left hand goes up and it's gonna hold real tall. You're gonna slide it. And up. And you're gonna slide it. And up. Slide it. And up. One more. Slide it. And up she goes. Okay. So let's do a little bit of shoulder and neck stretching. Okay. So sit comfortably. I'm here with my legs crossed. It might not be where you want to be. Okay. Find that happy place. Here might be better. Here might be better. You have options. Use them. Okay. And don't let anybody ever tell you that you can't do a movement differently than how the rest of the class is working. Okay. Shoulders back and down. You're going to bring your chin in towards your chest and then look straight ahead. Again, chin in the chest. Use your breath. As I exhale my head down, I can feel the neck, the back of my neck, my levators really open up. Breath is so important. One more. Head up. So I'm going to turn and I'm going to look to my right side. And I get to see what's happening on the right side of my room, right? But now I'm going to get nosy without moving my arms and hands. And I'm going to try to move my chin and head a little bit more. Bring it back. So that's a lot of stretching on your neck space. And it's okay as long as you're warmed up, and you're warmed up now because we've gone through at least 40 minutes. So head is lifted. You're going to turn, get nosy. I get to look at all my pretty plants over here. Inhale. I'm going to stretch a little bit deeper and come out. Again, to the right. I'm looking. And I'm looking deeper. I'm getting real nosy. I want to know what's going on behind me. Inhale and to the left. And release it. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do for your next space. So the next thing I'm going to have us do is let's get our weights, since we haven't been using them, and we'll rock and roll with them. Okay. Okay. So first things first, let's work on a little bit of balance since we have the opportunity here. We have a couple extra minutes. Okay. So for me, we're always looking at the center, okay, the center of gravity. And that's a good thing because when you challenge yourself, it's not just the head, inner ear, and the rest of the body. It's, it's also from an eye position, okay? So you're nice and tall, your shoulders are back and down, my feet are completely together. I'm just gonna lean to my right side. When I lean there, I'm not locking my right knee. I'm soft, making it a little soft, but lifting my left foot. So I'm looking straight ahead, or I'm finding a point of interest to keep my eyes there. Okay. So now I'm going to lift that knee up in front of me a little bit. See how it's up in front of me. And then I'm going to take it down, shake out the right side, keep the feet together, see my left weight of my left foot, and I'm just going to lift my right foot off the floor first. Point of interest for your eyes. I don't recommend you close your eyes. It's not a good place to close your eyes. Now let's lift that quad up. Really, it's challenging you. It's challenging me because I have an injury on my right ankle, and this is so good for me to do this to keep me strong. And then bring it down. Okay. Shake this out. The left one. Good. All right. So now let's do a little bit holding on to your weights. We're going to do some quadriceps into the tushy. Okay. So with your weights in your hands, you're going to hold here. You're going to move yourself back and let your tushy drop. And then lift up. And let your tushy back. And lift up. Tushy back. And up. Tushy back. And up. Now, if you notice, when I come back, my knees are not going over the toe space. If I look down, I should be able to see my toes. That's a safe place. So you have your weights in your hands when you're doing this. One more. Okay. Far out. So let's open our legs as wide as our mat, or even a little bit wider, like about as wide as our hips. Okay. So you have weights in your hands. Don't my weights look pretty? I have to get a set of weights. I left them in so many different places and I can't get back in to get them. So I'm going to curl. I'm going to press up, bring it in and down. Curl, press up, bring it in and down. Keep going. So I don't know if many of you have noticed it or not, but I'm sure you have. Have you noticed the birds singing outside? I sure have. Starting to hear those birdies singing. That means spring is really going to be here soon. Curl up. To the left. To the right. Keep going. And the left. And release. So one thing I do want to say for those of you who I don't know what you're doing because I can't see yet. If you have an impingement going on or a problem with one shoulder or one arm and you can't lift the same weight on both sides of your body, my recommendation is you don't lift weights at all. You don't ever want to build up this too much and this not at all, okay? Or vice versa. It's just unsafe. It's not going to give your body an even flow. Better to wait for the recovery of one side to work on the other, okay? Just to say that. Okay, feet are still hip width apart. Your hands are here with your weights in check. You're going to roll your shoulders back and down. You're going to lift into an upright row. So you're lifting up, up and out. So when you come up like this, it opens the chest cavity. You can feel that. It slides everything. Two more. Last one. And release. Okay, keep your weights to the side. Let the right ear come down. In center. Let the left ear. Feel stretch. A lot of times when we do upright rows, we have a tendency to tighten a lot of the upper part of the shoulder girdle. And release. Okay. So now with your weights in your hands here, bring your feet in just a little bit. You don't have to be real wide and you don't have to be completely together. So I'm here. I want to soften my knees, tailbones under, because my lower body's totally supported. And I'm going to keep my back straight. I have a straight back. And I'm going to cross my arms with my weights in hand. So cross it and open. Cross it. My spine is long. cross it and open. Keep going with this. One more. So here we are, nice and wide. Okay, now you are going to open your legs a little bit, and you're going to go into what I call a little bit of a dip. Knees are bent. And when the knees are bent, belly's pulled in, tailbone's tucked under. Okay, so you're here with these weights. Be very careful. We're going to make sure that they're appropriate for you and your shoulder. You're going to lift them straight up. Right, and in. So just imagine if I had on a T-back shirt, you could see the way my arms and scapula were sliding, plus the extension with the serratus anterior and all the work of the back of the arm and the front of the arm. Real important to keep that shoulder strong. One more. And take her down, take her down, take her down. Good. Here's the weights in your hands. Okay. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your hands holding on to your weights. So you're going to hold on to your weights. Your feet are going to be hip width apart because you need good balance here. So you're going to stand up tall. You're going to bring your weights up. They're all the way up overhead. So you're holding them safely and you're bringing them back. Now, one of the things that I'm doing right now that is not good form is I have straight knees. So I need to bend my knees slightly and I need to pull that tailbone down, pelvic tilt. So I'm going to lift and release and lift and release. Good range of motion. Make sure the arms are straight when you lift them up and when you bring them down, total bent elbow. Keep going. I always encourage you too that if you want to still do weights when you're not with me on Zoom, you can always do this in a seated position doing the same program. Now bring your arms all the way down in front. You don't need to be standing for this. You can be in a chair with no arms. And that's a great way to do it. So, okay. So last thing we're going to do is we're going to take the weights singularly and we're going to turn your hand in. So you're rotating at the shoulder girdle, right? You have a nice big socket that fits your rounded humerus bone up here, right? The funny bone, haha. And the glenoid cavity is what holds that in with a lot of connective tissue. You want to keep that connective tissue strong. So you're going to turn, rotate it, right? So we're going to take an upright or a straight arm forward and down. So this is a long arm holding on to those weights. Up. Keep your belly strong. You want to always create length to your stomach and to your back. Good form. That's why they tell us we grow when we do Pilates, because we're constantly thinking of the length and the strength. Now take your arms down, lateral. So when I bring my arms out, I'm bringing them below my shoulder. I'm not up here, okay? Keep it down, because then you're going into neck space, and that's not a place you want to be. One more. Okay, so you have the weights in your hands. Your feet are going to be a little bit wider than your hip. You're going to take the weights. We're going to end our class like this, and you're going to hinge forward. Don't lock your knees, bend them slightly. Bring them down, bring them down, bring them down. Let the weights touch the floor and release them. Then slowly roll yourself up. Shoulders back. Let's bring our arms up overhead. Take a deep breath in. Reach right. Reach left. Reach right. And left. And next time I'll make sure I unplug my phone. One more, arms down, and then we did it. Thanks for coming.